I don't know. I can't hear anything.
Would you like a Madonna?
I'm gonna try just the guitar. No redundance, no cartels.
Oh, this is
Oh, yeah, this is let me see if it picks it up. Normally there should be a message coming. See that message. If you have
Connect?
Yes, connect. Now it's connected. So yes, it's working.
Okay.
yeah, there's other things back there I didn't know I was going to be using.
Hare Krishna, everybody. While they're setting up.
Microphone?
Yeah. There we go. All right. Okay. Does everybody know the words? Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari? How many do know the words? How many do know the words? Most. Okay. So we do need a sign. Do we have it over there? Do we have to put it up on the screen?
I can put it on. You want me to put it on?
Yeah.
¿Por qué no?
¿Por qué no? You know your way around. There we go.
Nope. Yep, sort of. I don't see the model.
Now you gotta hide that, right?
It's opening.
So we'll just do it with guitar. No cartelos, no mridanga. I want to hear voices. To get how many people are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 20 voices all together. That's powerful. Ryan used that word, powerful, a few times. Getting 20 people together, doing something in cooperation, that's powerful. It's not a touch screen.
Which way? This is your try.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, can we zoom in on that? Yes, we can. Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha. Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Kunja Vihari. Little pause in there. Let's try it again. Together. Jai Radha Madhava. Wait. Jai Kunja Vihari. Jai Radha Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Jai Kunja Jai Gopi Janmallabha Jai Gopi Janmallabha Jai Gopi Janmallabha Jai Girivardhari Jai Girivardhari Jai Girivardhari Jai Girivardhari Jasodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Raja Jasodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Jasodanandana Raja Janaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare That sound, is it raining? Oh, that's great. You guys did really good. That was beautiful. Thank you. So, can everybody hear me okay? Is it okay? Not too loud? Not painful? You want me louder? You want me louder? That's too loud. No, it's too loud. It's painful. You like pain. He likes pain. Anybody else like pain? Really? Okay. Well, that brings up the question for today's discussion. What is gain? What is gain? What is our goal? Anyone have an idea? You said no pain, no gain. What are you trying to gain? Krishna Prema. What does that mean? I'm going to get to something. I think it's 16 or 17. Austerity of the mind. Or austerity of speech. 17, 16 maybe? Okay, we got the technical stuff coming up. Okay. So no pain, no gain. So he says Krishna praying. All right, but like for normal people, someone who doesn't even know what that is, what do we do in the meantime? That's a long time goal.
Sex life.
Sex, really? All right. All right. I think if I asked around, how many people would say that's the goal? I don't think people would be kind of shy to raise their hand to say that. Okay, you're throwing everything in there. Okay, yeah, chapter 17. And it's around 16, text 16. Yeah, 15. We'll get to it. Not on it yet. Okay, so what would be a goal? Just to enjoy your senses. What else? Happiness. Okay. How many people think? Harmony. Living harmoniously. Okay, good. Balance. Yeah, I saw you dancing your balance dance. That was good. Anybody else? Happiness, balance, happiness. Okay, we got 2 happiness so far. 1 balance, 1 harmony. What else? Goals. Good health. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Enlightenment. Okay. Wisdom. Yeah, these are all really good goals. What else? To be at peace. Oh yeah, that's a good crowd. Be at peace, harmony, enlightenment, and we can explore each of those. And maybe we will. Maybe we'll get to it in the discussion today. To stay dry when it's raining. That's a goal. Anything else? Devotion? Love. Love, devotion. Okay. Passion. Passion. Okay, passion. You have to have some enthusiasm or something. Okay. Well, these are really good. Anybody else that hasn't spoken yet? Now's your chance. Going once? Twice? Okay, last chance. Anybody else have a goal? Satisfaction. Oh, yeah, that's a good goal, just to be satisfied. And to advance spiritually. Yes. Okay. All right. I had a plan where to go with this. I think I'll still follow it, but with all of these, if this was a smaller group, we'd go off on all kinds of side tangents and get a lot out of it. These are all good goals. Last night we heard a speaker who quoted Aristotle saying, everyone heard of Aristotle? Anybody know Greek philosopher? There was Socrates, Plato, then Aristotle, and I met some people from Greece. I was in Rishikesh just a few weeks ago, talking to people from all over the world. They're all coming there to study yoga. They're looking for the goal of life. They even said that. I came here, I don't know what the goal is, but I'm looking for it. I just had a feeling I would find it by studying yoga in Rishikesh. And I talked with some people from Greece, and I mentioned Plato, Aristotle, Socrates. They looked at me like really puzzled. They'd never heard of these people. And then they said, oh, you're talking about, so we have like a totally butchered pronunciation. Anybody know how is Aristotle actually pronounced? Aristotle. Okay. Sounds like Spanish, Latin, because it is Latin. Or no, it's Greek. But I think even their pronunciation was different. The Greek pronunciation was even different from that. Because when they said it, I was like, what? Similarities, yeah. It's similar, but yeah. Anyway, we're just going to say Aristotle. Everyone knows who I'm talking about here. There's people from Greece. I apologize. But Aristotle said that the goal of life is to be happy. And all of these other things are just the means to reach happiness. Oh, don't worry, be happy, yeah. And then there's that song, clap your hands if you think that happiness is the truth. Is that how it went? No, that's another song. Because I'm happy. How's that song go? If you clap your hand, if you feel like a room without a roof, yeah. Because I'm happy. Yeah. So a lot of people do have that idea that happiness is the truth. That's the goal. And so I looked that up. What does Aristotle say about happiness? And there's a lot of interesting things, and they do go along with what's in Bhagavad Gita. And how much time do we have here? Do we have to go really quick? 7:30. Okay. All right. All right, see if you can follow this. I'm reading something, there's a big echo here. See if you can catch it. According to Aristotle, happiness is an activity of the soul in accordance with virtue over a complete lifetime. It is the result of acting excellently and fulfilling one's potential as a rational social being rather than pursuing external rewards. Did everybody catch that? There's a lot of good points in there. I'll read it again. I'll try to catch the points. According to Aristotle, happiness is an activity of the soul. So that's our inherent nature, to be happy. He has this understanding. That's also given in the Vedas, Rasa Vaisa, that the Lord is full of rasa and he's happy, and we are also composed of the same elements as God. We're meant to be happy. But due to being covered over by different misconceptions, we experience things other than happiness. Okay, so according to Aristotle, happiness is an activity of the soul. Okay, that's point number one. In accordance with virtue over a complete lifetime. So virtue, acting properly, and then like 2.5 is over the course of your lifetime. It's something you do consistently. Practice acts of virtue. It is the result of acting excellently and fulfilling one's potential as a rational, social being rather than pursuing external rewards. So there's some more points in there we can break down. It is a result of acting excellently. So knowing what to do and knowing what not to do, and having the character to, all right, I know I'm not supposed to do this, I really want to. And then there's that tipping point where you feel like, I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. But every time we say, well, I know I shouldn't do this, and we don't do it, that's acting excellently. It builds our character. It makes us stronger. It gives us self-confidence. So first thing is knowing what to do. And that's what we're going to read tonight from Bhagavad Gita. A couple of verses that talk about how to live in one aspect. There are 3 things that we have control over. You guys have been really good so far. What 3 things do we have control over? I'll give you the Sanskrit words. Karmana, Manasa, Vacha. Anybody want to? Our thoughts, our actions, yes, good. And then there's one more, manas. Oh, yeah, and our speech, yeah. Thank you. Our thoughts, our action, and our speech. Okay, you guys nailed it. That's what we have. That's our realm of influence. Anything else is beyond us. We can't control other people. We can't control the weather. We cannot control the social climate, but we can control these 3 things. And by controlling these 3 things, maybe we can control bigger things too. That's really powerful. When we get these 3 things under control, and they're fully engaged in the service of God, of Krishna, then Krishna empowers you to make big changes in the world. The tiny world around us is like, if you think, I'm with really boring and dull people, you can do something to stir that up. You can become interesting. I've seen people actually change their whole social condition without going to different people. Just by making an internal change, all of a sudden the people they're around become inspired and they become so much more interesting. There's something that Prabhupada said while he was in Hyderabad. Is anybody here from Hyderabad? Oh, Raghunatha. Anybody else? Okay. Where are you from? Chennai. Okay, that's pretty close. My son went there to study flute many years ago. But while Prabhupada was in Hyderabad, he was talking with his close circle, and he said, nobody knows how much power of the soul, how much power the soul has that's being covered over by our illusion and our petty thoughts. When we can get control over these things, there's practically nothing that we cannot do. And we saw that in his life, how he had such a profound influence on people all over the world. And he still does. 60 years later, people just heard a couple of words from Prabhupada. They read a few sentences from his books, and they said, I like that, I'm going to do that. He's still influencing people. That's a lot of Shakti there. But he would say, it's not my Shakti, it's not my power, it's Krishna's power. He's working through me. And you can do that too. All you have to do is surrender to Krishna. He makes it so simple. Okay, so we'll continue with Aristotle. According to Aristotle, happiness is the ultimate final end or highest good of human existence. All other activities, achievements, and possessions are pursued for the sake of happiness, making them instrumental means, not ends in themselves. Okay. Everybody follow that? All the other things that we mentioned, even peace, harmony, balance, all of these things, why do we want them? We want them, so we'll be happy. What were some of the other things brought up? Satisfaction. Yeah, that's synonymous with happiness. We'll go with that. And what you said was peace. Okay. Anybody else? What else was brought up? Getting lots of money. Getting some money can move us a little closer to peace. If you live, I've lived for a while with very little money, and it was very hard for my family. And so I found I was always thinking of money. And so I just thought about it. I found better ways to make more money, and there was a noticeable relief. So getting money brings you up to some level, but then you don't make that the goal. Prabhupada gives an interesting comparison to sense gratification, temporary things of this world. He says it's like salt. You put a little salt on your food tastes so much better. When there's no salt at all, the meal is very bland. So getting a little money, getting a few of these other things, yeah, bring it in. But just because you have 1 pound of salt, you don't put the whole thing on the meal. You'll ruin it. And just because you have access to all of these things, don't make that the goal. Then another point, happiness should be self-sufficient. It makes life desirable and complete, lacking nothing else. So happiness itself, you feel complete. It's a complete kind of happiness, not something that's lacking in any other field. This is brought up as one of the questions in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Have any of you read Srimad Bhagavatam? Anybody? He has. Anybody else? Oh, okay. Srimad Bhagavatam, it starts off with 6 questions. And this is one of them. How can people in this age of Kali Yuga achieve Atma Prasiddhati, which means self-satisfaction, complete, total satisfaction? So that's in the first chapter. So if you happen to get the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, read that first chapter, you'll find the 6 questions in there. The next chapter, he immediately starts answering them. We're not going to go into that because that would take 2 years to discuss the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. So happiness should be self-sufficient. It makes life desirable and complete, lacking nothing else. It's not a temporary pleasure or a fleeting emotional state. It is flourishing or living well. It is an active, lifelong process. Okay. One more point. Virtue, while essential, virtue alone is not enough. It must be exercised rather than just possessed. Okay, so we can have virtue, but we have to exercise it. We have to practice it for it to have an impact on our life. Okay, and on the topic of happiness, while I was in Rishikesh, somebody else I met, he was from New York, and he said something very interesting. And I questioned him on it because I had my doubts. He said, the worst thing that happened in my life was the best thing that happened in my life. He had gone through a very difficult time. He had built up a business, he was married, and then his wife went with his best friend, and they had access to the business. They drained his business, took it over. So there he was, without a friend, without his wife, no money, and he had enough money. He just moved to Rishikesh and had been living there for the past 2 years, just pursuing virtue, inner peace, balance, purpose, enlightenment. And he said, I'm really happy. I'm really glad it happened. So that's a phrase you can put on. You can try wearing that for a moment and see how it feels. The worst thing that happened in my life is the best thing that happened in my life. I wouldn't go passing that on to someone who's going through a difficult time. It's not something you impose on others. It's something that you have to learn on your own. And it's not going to fit every time, because sometimes we do go through some very difficult times. And it takes a lot of maturity and a lot of inner searching to say, yes, that really awful thing, it hurt a lot, but it brought me to where I am now. Okay, so all right, so we got this verse on the board, and we are going to do a little Sanskrit recitation. And first of all, I'm going to show you what this is. This is of the 3 things we have control over. Bhagavad Gita talks about all 3 in chapter 17. So we're going to go with speech, because we don't have much time left. And of these, getting control of your speech will have such an impact on your life. You're going to see a profound difference. If you can assimilate these 5 points from this verse and implement them in your life. This is a virtue of proper speech. So it's called austerity. Austerity means tapa. Tapa means, literally it means fire. You can have all kinds of good things on the shelf in your kitchen. You put them together in the pot and put that fire under it, and that's what makes it work. So taking these principles and applying them in your life, this is fire. It burns, it hurts a little bit. We always have a tendency to work in a certain way, but to change that habit, sometimes it's very difficult. But you do have control over it. I have friends who were marriage counselors, and this one man, he said, when my wife does this, I just have to yell at her. I have to say all of these rude things to her. She deserves it. I just can't help it. She's so stupid for doing that. And then, so the counselor asks, really, you have no control over it? No, I can't help it. What if someone was holding a gun to your head? And if you were to start yelling at your wife, he was going to pull the trigger. The guy said, all right, yeah, well, duh, of course I wouldn't do that. That would be suicidal. And so she said, so you do have control over it. You just have to realize the impact of your words, how it's ruining your life and ruining your relationship. So you do have control. So austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So we'll look at the Sanskrit, and maybe we'll try a group recitation. Everyone repeat after me. Anudvega karam vakyam. Anudvega karam vakyam. So vega means, it's translated as a pushing, an urge. Some places it's translated as a wave, like something that just pushes you away. So anudvega karam vakyam. So vakya means your words should not be causing people to feel waves. Like you're going to say something that's going to make someone angry or sad. You should consider the outcome. So that's the first thing. Anudvega karam vakyam. Before you release your words, because once you release them, you can't bring them back. You can say, oh, I changed my mind. I didn't mean to say that. They're going to remember that the rest of their life, that you said that. So, anudvega karam vakyam. Satyam priyam hitam chayat. Satyam priyam hitam chayat. Anybody recognize any of those words? Satyam? Truthful, yes. So, first of all, consider the outcome. How is it going to impact people's emotions? What you're about to say. Satyam, is it the truth? Priyam.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, you're looking at it. Okay. He's being truthful. See? Satyam, Priyam, so it's very dear, it's pleasing. Hitam, and beneficial. Satyam, Priyam, Hitam, Chaya. Then the next line is a little difficult. Swadhyaya Vyasanam Chaiva. Swadhyaya Vyasanam Chaiva. So Swadhyaya means to quote from the Vedas and to recite from the Vedas. And in the purport, Prabhupada says, when you speak something in spiritual circles, you are expected to verify it by reciting something to support your statements. So those are the 5 things. Consider the outcome, how it will emotionally impact the people you're talking to. Should be truthful. It should be pleasing and beneficial. And then, swadhyaya, we could open that up and say, it should be verifiable. You should have evidence of what you're saying. Not just, it's truthful. I know it's truthful. How do you know? You should be able to have some reference. for this. Okay. 5 things. Everybody got them? And when you implement these, you'll see a big impact. So we're going to read the purport. It'll give a little insight on how, because people always ask, if I'm going to speak the truth, sometimes the truth is not pleasant. How do I do that? And my kids, I need to yell at them. I can't always be pleasant with them. Yeah, actually, you can. You just keep these ideas as this is a target. I'm going to find a way, and you can find a way to do this. And the first sentence of the purport addresses this issue. One should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students, if it will agitate their minds. So know who you're dealing with. You can't just go up to somebody and tell them they're an illusion. Well, maybe some people you can. Some people may be humble enough to accept it, or some people may not even understand what you're saying. But a teacher speaking to the students, students have come there, it's their choice. Coming there, I want you to correct me. I'm coming here for correction. Our children, they're just born with us. They didn't volunteer. But still, it's our duty to train our children. So it's this delicate balance. If you're too heavy on your children, they may agree, but eventually they're just going to go off on their own. All right, so this is penance as far as talking is concerned. Besides that, one should not talk nonsense. The process of speaking in spiritual circles is to say something upheld by the scriptures. One should at once quote from scriptural authority to back up what he is saying. At the same time, such talk should be very pleasurable to the ear. By such discussions, one may derive the highest benefit and elevate human society. There's a limitless stock of Vedic literature, and one should study this. This is called penance of speech. Okay, we raced through that because it's already time. Who has memorized the 5 points here? Anybody want to try? Even just 1 or 2 of them. Go ahead. Be pleasing to hear. Anything else? Truthful? Beneficial? And verifiable, yeah, quoting from Shastra. And not agitating the minds of others. Okay, good job, kids. Class dismissed. You've taken your lesson. Now, implement it, and there's a few clues in there. Bhagavad Gita is full of clues. The next verse is really good. The next verse in purport about the mind. And in there it says, let's just look at it real quick, because it's so good. Mana prasadat somyatvam maunam atma vanigraha bhava samshuddha ityeta tapo manasam uchyate. Read the translation, and it's like, what? But the purport is what really makes this one. Satisfaction, which is what Adikarta brought up, which is learning to be satisfied with where you are, with what you have, not to be restless, to control the mind. There was somebody who was in prison in Vietnam, in a really tiny cell. He couldn't even stand up. And they were doing all kinds of things to torture him. And he said, I'm just going to sit here. And he went through every day. He just went through the golf course. That was his meditation. Golfing. 18 holes. every day he would just meditate on that, going to each full. So he had something to think of. So I'm not going to let him break me. I'm going to be satisfied. I'm here, satisfied. You're not going to make me upset. So when he was finally released, came back to America, he went and golfed that golf course. So our practice, we were reading this morning that whatever we fix our mind upon, the mind is this subtle entity which causes the solid materials to assemble. If we start thinking of, like I brought up golf, I never really thought about golfing much. I've never been. But if I was thinking about it all the time, I would probably find myself out on the golf course just by thinking about it, talking about it. And so Prabhupada was talking about that. It was from a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. What we think about becomes a solid reality. So he said, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement teaches people to think about Krishna in a practical manner and to do some kind of service for Krishna. And eventually we will find ourselves with Krishna in Krishna's realm. So that's our target. That's our ultimate goal, to become happy. And happiness is a concomitant factor of Krishna consciousness. It's a side benefit. Okay, I'm over time, right? Yeah, all right. So thanks for staying over. I already dismissed class. You guys get extra credit today. So you get a gold star to take home and put on your refrigerator. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Play now or after Prasadam?
What's that?
We gonna play now or after Prasadam?
Let's go look at the prasad.